What's going on, YouTube? It is the weekend, which means you know who we have to talk about. We have to talk about the Golden Vendor inside the Hollow City, inside of Cold Harbor, before we swing on over to Cyrodiil. We start off with our boy Zanil, who's going to tell us about what are the beautiful furnishings in stock for us this week. Definitely a sign theme again. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the signs. However, there are some benefits to buying these signs, and the biggest benefit is that they're cheap. Overall, they don't cost a whole lot, and there's a lot of themes to them. For example, this merchant sign, 3,000 gold, definitely could be resold at a later date for a hefty profit, just because 3,000 when it comes to furnishings, especially animated ones, even if it is just a merchant sign, is still a pretty good profit margin for you. Hello, Demolitia and Alto. I will do my best to get creative, and I will see you guys at the second one. And welcome now, dear friends, to the second Golden Vendor, the one that you'll find inside of Cyrodiil, inside of your little southern stable area. And we're going to talk to our Golden Vendor here. We're going to talk about what's in here. So I'm a huge fan of Ice Heart. Starting off, I think Ice Heart is great. However, Ice Heart is also super easy to get. Now, let's talk about why you may want Ice Heart, just the pros of it here real quick. Ice Heart is a great overall ESO set. It is a very good tanky set that you may want to consider when it comes to solo arenas, PvP. It's a great set because it comes from the base game. You can tell my cat loves it because she's trying to knock everything over. And it comes from Dire Frost, which is overall a relatively simple dungeon for you to be able to complete even on Veteran. So I do think that this is a great set if you're looking to do maybe some solo arenas and have a little bit more bulk to you. Something like Vatestrand, something like doing the Maelstrom Arena. It is also just overall a really good set for PvP because bulk is always great for PvP. So I do love the set. I do not think that you should purchase the helmet. I think that you guys should instead take the time, run some Dire Frost Keep, and pet your cat, or else they get real antsy at you when you talk about Ice Heart for too long. So same with the Sentinel guys. Very similar opinions. When you heal yourself or an ally, you summon a Dwemer Spider that heals you. I do think that there's actually better versions of this. Ironically, the one that summons a little, roly-poly boy whose name I cannot remember. What's it called when it's like the little ball guy that like follows you around and he's like, here, have some stats back. For some reason, that has completely slipped my mind as to what they call those guys. It's a Dwemer thing, but that version of the Monster Helm is significantly better. And overall, that's what I would suggest for you guys if you're interested in a monster set. But overall, this is still a decent one, but there are just so many better ways to get resources back these days. And it is a helmet. So even if you're looking at this and you're thinking to yourself, this is the perfect way for my build, I would still suggest you guys farm the dungeon. Next, we have the Automaton's Ring. Now, you could find some usage for this. So what it's going to do is add 400 weapon and spell damage to your physical and bleed damage abilities. Now, this is just a flat buff at all times, which I do like. However, 400 weapon and spell may seem like a lot, but these days it just isn't. So unfortunately, even though that you could be thinking to yourself, man, I would put this on a badass werewolf build. I don't know why I did that, but you could think to yourself, man, I could really build this into something. It's probably, unfortunately, something better. Brahma's Curse is an interesting one. One, because I think its fourth item reduces your damage taken from environmental traps by 40%. Is one of the most unique 4-piece bonuses. And then when you deal damage, you have a 25% chance to create desecrated ground for 5 seconds, which reduces the movement speed of your enemies by 60% within 3.5 meters, about 14 feet for you Americans. And damage them for 539 magic damage every 1 second. It heals you. Now, this is one of those sets that actually has some PvP utility. I know people had really been trying to experiment with this, and this is a bind on equip, so you could purchase this, try out the set, maybe in some blues or some purples, and sell the gold version if you don't like it. Would I suggest it? Probably not. There's just so many better ways to heal yourself, get resources back, and limit movement speed of your enemies these days. But it is an interesting set, very unique, and that also kind of translates to the Imperium set, which I do like this set. I think for 4-man content, the Imperium set is vastly underrated, especially if you're doing a no-death run for 4-man content. When you take damage, you grant you and your group mates within 8 meters of you. What's that in feet? 16 feet? 17 feet, 8, some amount of feet. And it gives you a damage shield for about 6 seconds. Now that's about a tenth of a minute for us Americans, and the shield will be able to absorb about 6,474 damage, which will probably be higher if the tank is wearing it. It's a good set if you're doing deathless content, because sometimes people will die from dumb things. How many times have you been doing a deathless run and somebody dies, I don't know, falling or tripping, or they die to a mob because they weren't paying attention or they forgot to block? So sometimes just having a set like this can be helpful, and having a cat that doesn't knock your mouse onto the ground can also be helpful. And that takes us to our final one, which is the Thunderbug ring. I used to wear this for PvP because I thought it was hilariously funny. Did I see a lot of value with it? No. Would I purchase it in gold? No. So that about sums that up for you. I do think it's cool, the effect that it does, and I'm sure you could build this somehow successfully. It's bind unequipped, so you could resell it. But overall, I'm not very hopeful that this set is going to be super successful for you. But it is cool. That wraps it up. And I'll be using a new video editing software for this video, so it takes like an extra hour to upload. Now you know why. Because I didn't practice enough in the interim, and I wanted it to look snazzy. Even though this is one of my more, less edited type videos, maybe we'll throw in a little razzle dazzle here for you, folks. But I want to thank you guys again for watching. As a reminder, the month of March is almost over. And if you would like to be not tortured by a cat, you should subscribe. Also, if you subscribe, you're entered into a giveaway, drawing one out of every subscribers is pulled at the beginning of the month and given a $20 gift card. Also, a random commenter. Now, the first comment that I pull is completely random, so every comment is entered equally as long as it is not deleted for spam. So please, no porn comments, I beg you. And the second one is the funniest comment that I think of the month. Now, this is completely subjective, and I will pull it at whatever moment in time makes me laugh. What I do is I take a screenshot of all your comments. So I just have this weird catalog on my phone of YouTube comments at random moments in time throughout the month. So your comment may win that entry, and those are the ways to win. So feel free to comment, subscribe, and put out a little humor for the world. As a question of the day, how was your day? And we'll talk about it in the comments. And then I'll see you later. Bye, guys.
Better remember to like and subscribe to Jake Clips. Or you should. I might have to pluck your eyes if you don't. Or, better yet, I'll skip rope with your entrails. Do it now. Subscribe. Ta-ta. Off with you.
My cat, during the production of this video, has done more to knock over everything in my apartment than any earthquake ever could.